welcome back to Creepcast! We're in person again, baby! Back in the library. We're reading 3 little grab bags. Wait, were these the ones that were on Tales from the Creeps?
No.
These are all older.
Oh, these are all older, but we are going to be reading some Tales from the Creeps here pretty soon. These are this is 14 years ago from a deleted user. This first one that we're reading is called The Strangest Security Tape I've Ever Seen.
Yep.
And then the next one is My doorbell sends a motion detected alert every night at 2:53. I found a forum full of users experiencing the exact same issue. Now something seriously strange is going on. And then lastly, I was an air traffic controller at Atlantic Municipal Airport, Iowa for 27 years. My first year at the job, I unwillingly went from a firm atheist to a believer. The long overdue end. These are fucking old. With long ass titles like those, you bet your bottom dollar these are fucking old stories, dude. Good Lord.
Well, the doorbell one's 4 years old.
The doorbell one is?
Yeah.
Well, it's harkening back, dude. It has an old soul.
Yeah. So, yes, we are in person again. Harry picked me up from the airport. Not Hunter. Harry picked me up from the airport, which I was going to hang over him, but we're getting started on the recording 2 hours late because I overslept. So
that is true.
This is really one of those, behind. If you think about it.
We should actually already have an episode done.
You made me wait at the airport, so I made you wait in here.
That did not affect literally anything.
It could have, hypothetically. Given time and constraints and stuff. So I think we're even, is what I'm trying to say. But okay. All right.
Hey, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave us a good review. And if you are on our Patreon, thank you. Or consider joining the Patreon. There's good stuff there. Don't get that shrug in there. There's good stuff.
Well, I think the shrug's on brand for you. You do like the sad e-boy thing a lot.
Yeah, when they see me, they usually think of an e-boy.
I mean, by definition.
Can morbidly obese people be e-boys? I don't think they can.
You're not morbidly obese.
Morbidly.
Yes, you can. You absolutely can.
I didn't know.
Yeah. So the strangest security tape I've ever seen has been recommended a ton. I don't think you're familiar with this story, but it is an OG. This thing's been around a while. Pretty much everyone who did creepypasta readings back in the day covered it. We will begin with that one. And then again, the other ones, Harry said that there is a theme to these stories, like an interconnected thing. So we'll see what that is as we go. But we can begin with the strangest security tape. Are you ready to get into it?
Oh, I'm ready.
Then let us begin. I work at a gas station in rural Pennsylvania. Already a terrifying entry. Pennsylvania.
I've been to Pennsylvania. Went to Philly. Yeah. One of the worst cities in America, easily.
That's just scary.
Maybe not as bad as St. Louis, but horrible. No. Trashy. Horrible place. Horrible fans of anything. Anything they like, they just love to hate and tear down.
I worked at a gas station in rural Pennsylvania. It's a boring job, but it's pretty easy and it pays all right. A few weeks ago, this new guy started. I'll call him Jeremy. Jeremy is weird. He's about 25 or 26, and he hardly speaks, but he's got the creepiest laugh I've ever heard. My boss and I have both noticed this, but it's never been a problem, so there's not much we can do about it. Customers have never complained about him, and he's always done his job fairly well. Up until a few weeks ago, anyway. That's when things started going missing. Employee theft can be a problem at any business that sells consumer goods, and there's only one person working at a time at this gas station. It's a pretty small place. About 2 weeks ago, my boss started noticing that we were short on motor oil. At first, it was a few containers at a time. Then the entire shelves and boxes from the back room. Pretty soon, entire shipments would be gone the day after we got them, and it would always be right after Jeremy's shifts. My boss has checked the security camera tapes from every single night he worked, but he could never catch him in the act. Jeremy would lock up at closing, and the motor oil would be gone the next day. My boss usually takes the tapes home with him to try and catch Jeremy stealing, but his daughter had a softball game last night, so he asked me to watch the tape for him. He offered to pay me overtime under the table, so obviously I took the offer. There are 3 cameras, so he gave me 3 different tapes to check. I figured it'd be a long night, but I'm trying to save up for vacation, so I really needed that money. Took the tapes home, popped them in the old VCR, set back. 2 days ago, the last time he worked, Jeremy started at 4 p.m. Everything seemed pretty normal at first. He counted up his drawer, switched off with the girl who was working before him, and waited for a customer. The first person who came in was Mrs. Templeton. The timestamp on the video read 4:03, a regular. Picked up her cigarettes and a newspaper and paid with a 20. Nothing unusual there. The next customer was some local guy named Ron. He drives a motorcycle, usually comes in every few days. He filled up his tank, got a bag of beef jerky, paid with his credit card, and then left. Next was some guy with a cowboy hat. I'd never seen him before, but we get plenty of strangers passing through, just like any gas station. He got $40 worth of diesel fuel, paid with a $100 bill, and went on his way. Back inside, the only thing more boring than doing this job is watching someone else do it. My boss's offer was enough to keep me watching, though, so I left the tape on. Everything seemed pretty normal. I had a feeling that if Jeremy was stealing motor oil, he knew we were suspicious of him by now. I didn't expect him to be dumb enough to let us catch him on camera. Things stayed boring and routine until about 5 o'clock. At 5:03, Mrs. Templeton came back in. She must have forgotten something, but she didn't. She bought the same pack of cigarettes as before and the same newspaper. She paid with another 20. That's odd, I thought, but then again, she's a little absent-minded. I thought Jeremy should have told her she already got her smokes, but it's not against the rules to sell somebody the same thing twice. That's when Ron came in again. Bought another tank of gas for his motorcycle again. I later checked the outdoor camera because I thought maybe he had another car he wanted to fill up, and the same pack of beef jerky. He paid with his credit card again. No big deal. I figured this was just a weird coincidence. Mrs. Templeton is forgetful and Ron probably owns more than one Harley. That's when the guy in the cowboy hat came back in. I felt a chill run down my spine.
Don't get diesel. Don't get diesel.
I found myself whispering to my empty living room, but he did. He got $40 worth of diesel fuel and paid with another $100 bill. Every move he made was identical to his first visit, right down to the way he scratched his nose before he walked out. Either this guy is rich, owns a lot of trucks, and just moved into town, or something really bizarre was happening. I kept watching. Every customer for the next hour was the same as before. Every single one. I was seriously freaked out, and then at 6:03, Mrs. Templeton walked back in. She bought her cigarettes, a newspaper again, and paid with the 20 again. I thought I was going to lose it. I only watched another half hour before I started fast-forwarding through the rest. It was all the same. Every customer would come in at the exact same times, exactly 1 hour apart. Now I know what you're thinking. That sneaky guy Jeremy had messed with the tapes. He had run a loop of his first hour of... Do what?
I said motherfucker.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Hunter. He had run a loop of his first hour of business over and over. That wasn't the case. There are windows around the cash register area that the camera covers, and I watched the sunlight fade as time ran on. Jeremy's routine didn't loop over. He swept, mopped, restocked, and did all his duties exactly how you would expect. But the same customers kept coming in. That's a neat touch, because I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, this is just a looped hour of footage. But you can see him, Jeremy, being different in between each person and stuff like that.
I used to work at Dollar General back in the day.
Is there anywhere you haven't worked? You felt like
I haven't worked at a lot of places.
That's crazy.
I used to work at Dollar General back in the day, and some of the people I worked with, I feel like you could show them this footage, and they just would not give a fuck. Like, do you think you'd be like, honestly, do you think you'd be like, this is insane? Or like, do you think that...
I think if they thought about it, I mean, if they were absent-mindedly looking at the screen, then no. But if they took time, like, it is weird that these people are on tracks over and over for some reason.
Just throughout the whole day?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people I've worked with, they'd just be like, I don't know, it's just weird. And they'd just turn it off. You know?
I mean, there are some people who maybe, I guess, would be low IQ enough that they'd be like, yeah, this is some, like, incomprehensible entity. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Boop, boop. I was panicking at this point. Something was seriously wrong with what I was seeing, and I had no explanation for it. I skipped ahead to when he locked up and walked out to his car. He hadn't stolen anything, but I kept watching, just to make sure. I fast-forwarded one last time to about midnight. At exactly 12:03, out of nowhere, Jeremy's face pops up on camera. I don't mean he moved his head into view. I mean that 1 second the store was empty, the next second his face was all I could see. He wasn't looking at the camera, he was looking at me. I was sure of it. I screamed and fumbled for the remote. By the time I grabbed it, he was gone, just as soon as he had left. One frame he was there, the next he wasn't. My hands were shaking like crazy, but I popped in another tape. The other indoor camera shows the back area by the cash register, and I would be able to see how he got up to put his face in the camera like that. Skipped ahead to 12:03, but there was nothing. I would have been able to see him standing on a chair or something on this tape, but he wasn't there. I didn't see him enter the store at all after he left. It's like he wasn't really there. He doesn't know the security code. No alarms were triggered that night after he locked up. What I did see, however, was that at 12:03, the motor oil vanished off the shelf. All of it. Same as Jeremy's face. 1 second it was there, and the next it wasn't. I turned the tape off and went to bed, but I didn't get a wink of sleep. My body's exhausted right now, but my mind is racing. That tape was undoubtedly the creepiest, most disturbing thing I've ever seen in my life. I work in a few hours. My boss asked me to bring the tapes back in and let him know what I found. But really, what the hell am I going to say? Jeremy works the night shift tonight, directly after me, and the plan is for my boss to come in just before I leave and confront him with me, as I'm supposed to be the one who caught him stealing. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I suppose I'll have to show my boss the tapes, but I don't want to watch them again. But I don't want to watch them with him. I never want to see something like that again. I can't get the image of Jeremy just smiling directly into the camera out of my mind. It was the creepiest look I've ever seen on another human being's face. Anyway, I'm going to try again to get some last-minute sleep before I have to go in and deal with this. I'll let you guys know what happens. Update at 2:49 p.m. Updating from my phone. Apologies in advance for errors. My boss just finished watching the last of the tapes. I told him what to expect, but you really can't prepare someone for something like that. He's scared shitless. I still am too, and Jeremy's due to come in at 4. We've got a little over an hour to get our shit together, but neither of us knows what to say to him. Is he just a screwed up guy who likes to steal motor oil and scare the shit out of people? Or is he something else? I don't know if this is crazy, but does anyone think he could have anything to do with the time loop? My boss said he never noticed anything like that in the other tapes, but the way he popped up in this one made me think he knew I would be watching. It's like he wanted me to see what he could do. Like he was showing off or something. The way he smiled into the camera was like a little kid showing you a sandcastle they just built or something. I don't know. I probably sound crazy. I sure feel the part. I'm going to talk to my boss some more. We have to calm ourselves down and figure out how to handle this. I'll update again tonight, but I have a really bad feeling about how this is going to play out. Update 4:33. No sign of Jeremy. Tried calling him, but his phone has been disconnected. We're calling the police. Update 5:33. No sign of Jeremy. Tried calling him, but his phone has been disconnected. We're calling the police. That exact loop repeats again at 6:33, 7:33, and 8:33. So, at the 33 interval of every hour, the same thing he was seeing on the security camera with the customers, the loop. Until there's an update at 10:58. Holy shit. I just got home and saw my previous updates. Things make less sense now than ever. Here's what I can tell you. I went to work, Jeremy never showed up, but my boss and I decided to call the police, as you're well aware. When I picked up the phone to call, though, the sun went out. I shit you not, that's what I thought happened. Apparently, I blacked out for exactly 5 hours, because when I looked at the clock, it was 9:33. I think I got stuck in Jeremy's time loop, and then I snapped out of it at that exact point I blacked out, if that makes sense. But that's when things got really weird. My boss was right next to me when I blacked out, ready to corroborate my story to the cops. When I came to, the phone was in my hand, but it was dead. Not even a dial tone. My boss was still right there, but he wasn't moving. He was standing up, but frozen. I looked at the clock again, and it wasn't moving. The second hand was stuck on the 12. It was 9:33 exactly. Clock on the register, computer screen, wasn't moving either. My phone was frozen. There was even a customer at the register waiting for my boss to get him cigarettes. I'm betting that would have been his 5th pack of the day. I got out of there. Didn't lock up, didn't turn the lights out. Sorry guys, I didn't grab the security tapes to upload on the internet. Believe me, that was the last thing on my mind. The gas station is on a major highway and cars were parked all along it, except they weren't parked, they were frozen. The people inside were sitting still as wax statues. I got in my car and prayed that it would start. Thankfully it did. About halfway home, time started up again. Static from the radio turned into music like it's supposed to be, and from what I could tell by listening to the host talk in between songs, no one noticed the time freeze, or whatever it was. I was the only one. Well, I'm sure Jeremy noticed as well. I still have no clue where he is or what he's doing. I'm hiding in my room and calling the police again in the morning. I don't know if I ever got through to them before, or if I did, whether they took me seriously. I'm scared for my life at this point. I'll update tomorrow if I can. Final update, 10:33 a.m. I finally fell asleep last night around 4. I have no idea how I did it. I guess exhaustion finally got the best of me. This morning, I woke up to my phone ringing. It was my boss. He'd been calling me since about 6. He woke up when time turned back on last night and immediately called the cops. They came by to see what was wrong and he told them everything. The police around here are all small-time guys. They were more concerned with the missing motor oil than anything, but my boss figured he would take it as long as he had their attention. They decided to go looking for Jeremy. We keep all our employee applications on file. Since Jeremy just started working here, his was easy to find. They checked the address on it and headed over to his house. You're not going to believe what they found. The address Jeremy listed on his application was an empty lot, or at least now it is. There used to be a house there, but it burned down in 1993. Being a small town, almost everyone remembers that fire. A family of 4 used to live there way back when. Rumor has it that they had an estranged son, who they never really talked about, but I can't say for sure if that's true. What I can say is true is that after an insurance investigation, the fire was ruled an arson. The entire house was soaked in oil and torched with a Molotov cocktail. The entire family was sleeping when it happened. None of them survived. They never caught the guy who did it. Rumor has it that when they tried to contact the estranged son, no one could find him. Anyway, my boss called and told me this, and I freaked out. Then he asked me to come to the gas station.
What are you, crazy?
I said, but he assured me that the cops were there with him. Then he dropped a bomb. The FBI were also in town, and they were going to talk to me one way or another, so I might as well come in. It was about 7:15, and I wanted to go back to bed, but I figured I wouldn't be able to sleep much more anyway, so I went down. 4 men in suits greeted me and told me to have a seat. We went over everything 2 or 3 times until they got all the details down. I told them about Jeremy, the security tape, last night at work, everything. Finally, after I finished, one of the agents said,
"Oh, Christ, we've got another one on our hands."
Then they made me sign a bunch of papers saying I wouldn't tell anyone about what happened, so I can't say much more. I might be breaking the law just by posting this. So now I'm home. I'm not sure what to do with myself. That agent's words when I told him the story are going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Anyway, I've got to go. I have some errands to run today, and then I have to go into work to pick up some tapes. My boss and I think this new guy, Jeremy, he's a complete creep, is stealing motor oil, and I have to watch the security footage to see if I can catch him doing it. I have better things to do, but my boss is paying me overtime, under the table, and I'm trying to save it for vacation so I could really use the money. It should be pretty simple. The oil always goes missing right after his shifts. I figure I'll just watch the tapes, catch him in the act, and that will be that.
So at the end, did he just forget that he just did that?
It's a time loop. It's a bigger time loop.
Oh, he's in a bigger time loop.
Yeah. He's in this bigger pocket of that. I don't know where. So this is a story people share around a lot, talk about a lot. I get it. It's a fun little
Was it also just one of those stories back in the day that it was so new that it was like, oh, that's a cool way? I didn't know.
It's a cool concept.
I didn't know that you could approach creepypastas in that kind of way or something.
Yeah. And I mean, the idea of someone watching security tapes and time loops are fun and stuff like this.
What do you think of the oil? What do you think of the oil?
The arson, if I had to guess. It's tied to the arson somehow. Because it's an empty lot and there was a fire a long time ago. So maybe Jeremy's obviously the estranged son, right? But maybe it's not so much an estranged son. Maybe Jeremy is some entity who's always been this age and the family knew and then the house burned down. But maybe to the family, they're still existent in a time loop for the past 30 years. And Jeremy's the one, the thing causing the fire, and now he comes here, and it's starting to spread, basically, to other people. And now we see here that there's time loops within time loops because he thought that earlier, the previous night, he's whoa, I just went through one, not realizing the whole day, 24-hour cycle is a greater one as well. So it's some entity that's, messing with their experience of time and stuff like that. And also we don't know how far it spreads, because if the house that's on fire is in a time loop, then to them, they're still there. But to everyone else, it was a lot that burned down years ago.
Pretty sure I read a story. This is like a while back, but it was like in Illinois, in southern Illinois. There's this like O'Reilly's manager that was like dumping oil in like a bucket or something, and he would like wipe his skin with it.
Like
He would, like,
used
take
motor
off his-
oil?
I don't know if it was used, but I thought I heard something where he had like some kind of bucket in the back. He would like take off his shirt and like rub oil on his arms and his chest and all that kind of shit. I didn't know if it was going to something like that. I mean, the arson thing's kind of cool, but would have been cool if Jeremy was. Also, I do like all these. You know, it's kind of fun with all these old stories.
What?
There's just like some, borderline autistic guy. Almost always, and they're just like, yeah, he's a freak. He's such a weirdo. Let's watch him on the cameras because I feel like he's stealing oil. You know what I mean?
I mean,
a lot more cruel back in the day.
I
I
call
feel
Jeremy who flashes onto the camera.
No,
I
but
wouldn't call that
when they
autism.
first talk about him, I mean, they.
How many autistic people do you know that can create time?
First of all, they don't know that.
No. Well, first of all, they don't know that. I'm saying that from when they're first starting,
All
they're
of
like,
them. Yeah, someone said.
yeah. Everyone raises their hand. No, I'm saying that I would say when they first talk about him, they're like, "Oh yeah, he was a fucking." What did they say? I mean, what did they say? They said he was like slow and he was a weird guy. Had a weird laugh. Also, What do you think his laugh sounded like? What do you think his laugh sounded like to where that was like the one distinguishable thing about him?
Like either a Tommy Taffy like overly thing or like a devilish laugh. I would
Like what?
imagine.
Is that crazy? You think that's a crazy of a laugh to?
If I told you a joke and you went, yes, I would think that was pretty crazy.
I almost prefer that laugh over your laugh. You get high. It starts low, then goes high. You're the Jeremy in this situation, dude. Now I'm gonna picture that security cam footage. You're just like waddling around the store.
Why do I waddle?
I don't know. Well, because they made him sound. Did they not make him sound like a dopey bastard?
You just added that I waddle without precedence.
Oh, the waddle is just because of the dopey thing. I mean, am I wrong? Didn't they say that? They definitely were picking on this guy. Do you think that he like saw like? Do you think he like saw?
Is he not like a time looping dimensional thing that's caused the death of people and is
So,
now
so
has
is
people
Jeremy
that-
an entity?
I think so. Yeah, the
Oh.
way he pops into the camera then disappears. Yeah,
Oh.
he puts everyone else in these time prisons.
Well, if you were an entity, why
It's not just
have
a
three
guy.
people come in and get like cigarettes and a chocolate bar and gas for? I mean, like what does
It's
that do? for
spreading.
you?
It's like it started with the house. Now it's spreading to other places.
Oh, so it's just like
you know.
infecting other areas in this time loop.
Yeah,
I
I don't know what his reasoning is, but the FBI seems onto it because of that whole we've got another one of these. So it seems like they're aware that it's spreading. We don't know why,
I
but
wonder what the laugh did sound like. Also, what do you think he saw?
apparently it sounded like my laugh because it's worse.
Well, I don't think it's as bad as your laugh, but I think that the not joking. You have a nice laugh. It's very
No, you know,
very nice.
no.
The what do you think he could have seen that would cause such a laugh? Well, especially an entity.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The entity's laugh. They're saying that Jeremy's laugh. He's like, oh, he had a weird laugh. It was always weird.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
what I'm wondering.
he's,
What would
he's
it-
obviously trying to fit in. He has a job at a gas station. That'd be weird.
Horrifying.
I would say that's a fucking terrifying laugh.
Yeah.
He's like reading he sees a shirt that's on like one of the racks of the store that says like, what's that one thing? It's just like, I need to activate protocol coffee or whatever the fuck it is. What is that?
I need a firmware update in the
Oh
form
yeah.
of coffee.
I need a firmware update in the form of coffee. He reads that shirt. He just, That would be fun. Watch him. I think that motherfucker's chugging 5W30 in the
He's
back.
stealing the oil. Yeah. But yeah, this story is a classic. It's fun,
yeah.
especially 14 years ago. Especially then, the market for scary stories that was out there. So
Sometimes I feel like this podcast would be a lot funner if we were like 8.
What?
Like, because I feel like a lot of people, when they were reading this stuff back in the day, you were, yeah,
How do I interact with that?
listen, I need I ran out of my firmware update. I might need another one. I'm saying that kids reading these for the first time might be like, isn't that crazy?
So let's do this.
I didn't have that. I didn't have that. What age did you start reading these? God, 14 years ago, you'd be a fetus.
11. I was 12, 14 years ago.
So, I mean, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
It's like kids that age being like, are you serious?
Yeah, that's when all this stuff freaked me out. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like sometimes our viewers want that.
Us to be scared?
I don't think necessarily scared,
We've been
but
scared
just
in
fascinated.
episodes as
Oh,
adults.
definitely.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that I think that generally there's a want or desire for someone to be like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it bad that I'm not giving that?
I think it's a cool concept. I'm not like, this is a terrifying super. Like, no, the strangest security tape I've ever seen isn't some magnum opus of writing. It's just good for when it came out, and it's an inventive concept. It's not another
What kind of bum that
creepy.
was arson?
It's not. Yeah. The whole tying it in. That's also another tell of like old creepy pastas when it's like it's the haunted house down the street that they say the woman died at 10 years ago. Like they always tie it to some like, tragedy that happened back in the
that's
day.
just because if you think about it, 2012. I mean, by that time, Ghost Hunters and like Ghost Adventures, all that shit was popping off. I feel like they tie it in because that's what those shows
and also
did too.
most horror movies did that too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Ghost
So,
stories, all that kind of stuff.
Most horror movies have something where it's like, oh, well, we found this newspaper that said someone died in the house 40
How about
years
a
ago.
fucking guy? How about a time entity that's using oil, rubbing it on his skin like that guy from the O'Reillys that I read about,
Yeah.
and he's looping time to where it'll like affect his skin or something. He wants oil skin.
I mean, I think honestly you could have done the time loop thing without tying it into the old thing. And also, I'm kind of reaching a bit to make the connection between like that's a time loop there and stuff like that.
I don't think it's that. I thought it made sense.
Well, I think that's what's implying, but it's like kind of a weak connection between
Harry?
them. You could do without it.
Kind of a Capri Sun.
Yes. Okay, we saw.
My biggest takeaway from that was that this like supernatural time loop entity's name is Jeremy.
Having
It's a rough name.
having a
Well, he said, "Let's call him Jeremy." What
having
if
a
his actual
supernatural
name's
time
like-
entity named Jeremy is kind of a creative
Yeah,
choice.
his actual name's like Gorgon Lucifer.
He's called Jeremy. He drives. Yeah, he rides to work every day on his mongoose bike with four
wow,
pegs.
you're so sweet, Harry. Thank you, buddy. It's very kind. Harry wakes me up after I sleep in an hour and a half.
Yeah, because I went down there and said, "Go fucking wake him up," is what I said.
No, not pointing any names. But he does that.
I mean, not pointing any
And
names
then-
at you, motherfucker.
No, I think it could have been. It's really one of those like glass half full, half empty kind of things. But Harry brings me a coffee, and now he brings me Red Bull and Diet Coke. This guy
Couldn't help but notice a lack of Capri Sun. I think that says a lot about your character.
Yeah, it says a lot about you right after you said you wish you were 8 years old.
I'm saying that I wish that we were 8 years old doing this so we could have fantastical experiences reading this. I feel like if I was 8 years old and I read that, my mind would be fucking blown.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I was like. I wish that we were 12.
Hey, age of the average Creepcast viewer.
I wish you were 12.
All right.
Also, we could get on bikes. We could ride bikes
You
to a recording.
You can do that now.
No, not really. Okay. I'm saying that if I sat there, we did. Hey guys, we're gonna go read a scary story down at my mom's barn.
Yeah.
And we get on my mongoose. You're on the back pegs, and we're like, woo! And we have a GoPro footage of that. People would love that.
If we were 8. If we were 8.
Yeah, kids. No, you're like. I mean, I'm like 40. You're like. I don't
For
know.
one, half of these people would love to see both of us on a bicycle anyway.
I don't
now.
think there's any I don't think there's any structural bike that could hold me at this point. Maybe the mongoose. Maybe. Is mongoose still a thing?
I have no idea. Are they?
I think so. I think it's on Walmart.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Mongoose bikes.
So that was a good story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Hunter loved it.
This is a pussy getter right here.
Okay. Those were pretty cool.
Well, maybe not this one. If they don't have pegs, then
You can add
do
the pegs.
do kids even care about pegs anymore?
I don't think kids are biking like they used to. I mean, maybe they are. I'm gonna get my kid a bike, when she's old
that
enough.
one's cool too. See, now I'm just what I had when I was younger, or not what I had, what my buddy had that I used to ride when I was younger.
What?
I was a fat little boy. And my buddy had one of those remember when like West Coast Choppers was really big? Or you're so much younger than us. Remember when it was like an Easy Rider motorcycle bike, but it was in the shape of like, it had like the fat back tire and the skinny front tire.
I think I've seen those before,
Impossible to ride up hills. It was horrible, but it looked so cool. Oh, let me see if I can find a picture of it.
I had a bike kind of like that. My parents, we got really into biking for like a couple years. We'd go to like these parks and bike around and stuff. My parents always had townies. Those were really nice with like the gears. You could switch and stuff like that. I thought those were cool. Yeah, he doesn't care about them. It's whatever.
Well, I mean, that's a cool thing about your parents with a tandem bicycle or whatever. They're called Stingrays. That's what they're called.
That would explain why they don't work on hills. They're for beaches.
No, maybe it doesn't. No, here it is. This was a legitimate bike you could get.
I mean, I 100% see how a kid would
Oh
be
my
like,
God, when I was a
"Oh,
kid,
yeah.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, impossible to go.
Because it looks like a motorcycle.
Impossible, especially with my fat ass ankles and stuff trying to push those pedals. Yeah, right. Hold on, guys. I don't go up the hill like that.
I'm coming.
Hold on. Come on.
I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Ridge Wallet, because Ridge has some of the most durable and stylish wallets on the market. Normal wallets clog up your pockets, making it impossible to take your phone or keys out. Putting a normal wallet in your back pocket leads to bad posture and back pain. So what to do? Well, do what I do and get a Ridge wallet. Ridge has taken their game-changing wallet and made it even better with Ridge 2.0. Ridge 2.0 wallets have the perfect balance of form and function. They're 10% lighter and are more modular with improved cash straps and money clips. And the overall improved surface design gives it a sleek look. The wallet holds up to 12 cards plus cash and comes in over 50 colors and designs, including pro and college sports teams. And whatever you choose, Ridge has a built-for-life warranty, so if your wallet's ever lost or stolen, they've got you covered. On top of that, with the Ridge Tracker card, you can always know exactly where your wallet's at, which is someone who drove to many stores he'd been to that day because he lost his wallet only to find it hidden in a hole in the couch. I can tell you that would be nice. And for a limited time, our listeners can get 10% off at Ridge when you use the discount code Creepcast at checkout. That's right, 10% off. All you have to do is head to ridge.com and use code Creepcast and you're set. After your purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them, and if you could say us, it would mean a lot. Thank you to Ridge for sponsoring the show. Their link will be in the description, and we are now back to the episode. I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Tushy. Tushy is a product that I can wholeheartedly, not a part of the script, say changed my life. I always thought bidets were done until I tried one and realized that my life was literally worse before I got it. Imagine if every time you got done eating with your hands, you just rubbed it on a dry piece of paper, never washing them. And then ask yourself, why do you do that when you go to the bathroom? Well, I'm here to tell you that Tushy is the luxury bidet that your bathroom's been missing. I love Tushy because it gives me the benefits of reducing irritation, making me more hygienic, and I use way less toilet paper because you pretty much just use the toilet paper to dry off. And less toilet paper means less clogged toilets, more saved money. Some Tushy models even have a built-in dryer, and Tushy bidets are easy to install, either going under your toilet seat or becoming your new seat. No power tools are needed, and you can go to the bathroom, clean yourself off, and dry off without ever getting up. Stop guessing that you're clean and start leaving the bathroom with confidence. And now is the perfect time to get in on Tushy's offer. That's because for a limited time, our listeners can get 10% off your first bidet when you use discount code Creepcast at checkout. That's right, 10% off. Just head to hellotushy.com and use discount code Creepcast to get in on your new bidet today. Thank you to Tushy for sponsoring the show. Their link will be in the description, and we are now back to the episode.
All right. Well, my video doorbell, right?
Yep. So our next episode is posted by Lighting Nations, who I don't believe we've covered before. It looks like they've continued to post on like r/stories and stuff like that. Their last no sleep seems to be 10 months ago. I think so. So still seem to be an active writer. We will have their account linked in the description below. But this story, again, Harry says, is in line with the last one. That was a good catch. My video doorbell sends a motion detected alert every night at 2:53. I found a forum full of users experiencing the exact same issue of something seriously strange is going on. So, another creepy security camera video. Hunter, are you ready to get into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
God damn, I can't fucking get this Capri Sun straw in there. The fuck?
Hold on, move your thumb from the top. Is that, okay, I thought
No,
I thought you had it upside down. Okay.
I love Capri Sun.
We can act like we're 8 if you want. If that's
This
what
is
you're
the
missing
cooler.
out on. I don't think we could have started our platforms and, had this whole audience going in that same time frame, but, I would have had to have started YouTube when I was 2. So,
That'd be a good combo.
beard.
You want to make a podcast, little boy? Well, Isaiah, what would you say?
Yeah, I would be like, my mom told me not to talk to people like you.
Your mom's dumb. That's what I'd say.
This is some Pennywise energy.
What are you talking about, little boy?
That's what we need. We need a child to sit right here and be like, that scare you? Oh, was that freaky? Are you scared?
I'll tell you what, Capri Sun makes me gassy.
How? It's liquid.
I think it's whatever the chemicals they put in the fruit. They say it's all natural ingredients, but I can't believe that.
Okay.
How can, you're gonna put all natural ingredients in this kind of container? It's probably the coffee. Coffee with Capri Sun probably can't be a good combo.
You know, that would actually be, well, no, I don't want to show her face like online until she's old enough, but my kid.
Oh.
But that would be excellent. If we're still doing this thing in a few years, be like, was that scary? Did that freak you out?
No. Okay.
Okay, well, there's your consensus.
Well, that's good
Moving
to know.
on. Yeah.
How much longer do you think this has?
The show? How long have we been doing it now?
What? Can I not ask? We've been doing it for like, how long have we been doing this? 3 years?
3 years. We're pushing on 1 million subs. Typically, the rule of thumb is after 5 years, you're either like pack your bags or you're in it for the long haul.
I think at 1 million subs,
which is like
we
now.
walk away.
So like right now.
No. We're like 40,000 subs away. At 1 million, I think we fucking we ride off in the sunset. We leave them wanting more.
So are you ready for the next story?
Let's go to the next story.
Let's go to the next story. The following are posts from the Roost Video Doorbell Help Forum. After my phone started spamming motion-detected alerts, I did a quick Google search, stumbled across this thread, and created an account. In case it isn't obvious, my username is Lighting Nations. Dates are in UK format. Motion alert triggered every night at 2:53. Dan King 22. Posted on 27/10/2022 at 3:06. Trying this again because the admins are a bunch of whiny snowflakes who cry whenever somebody uses. Okay, so actually, you know what? Immediately, I think you should be Dan King. After reading that first sentence, that's a you quote.
He's British?
Yes, but he's talking about snowflakes, so whatever you think.
Trying this again because the admins are a bunch of whiny snowflakes.
There it is.
Who cry whenever somebody uses a naughty word.
There we go. That's what I wanted.
Is he British?
Yeah.
Okay. Video doorbell sends motion alert to my phone every night at 2:53. Tech support keeps saying it's picking banging gate or squirrel, but that's rubbish! All the camera sees is a patio floor and furniture. Can I get some assistance, please?
Wow. I'm so glad I did that. All right. Reply from Too Many Tofats.
Too many top hats.
Oh, yeah, I guess that would be top. I'm like, what's a tofat?
Too many tofats. It's my gout.
Too many top hats. I'm in the exact same boat. 2:53 each night, like clockwork. There's weird pixelation distortion in the footage, but it works like a charm the rest of the time. Monitoring this thread. To tech support, not good enough. Reply from Paleo10. Mine's doing the same thing. Bloody phone goes off every night, and I get an alert with garbled footage. The support lines aren't much help. I've muted notifications for now, but it's a bit pointless having the camera if it won't warn me, and the misses whenever someone's breaking in. A solution would be much appreciated. Cheers. Reply from Dan King.
Glad to see it is only me! I've been on the phone to the tech guys for days! Useless!
Reply from deleted user. Hi, Dan. There are instructions for...
Hey, but no shit though, for real. Isn't
That is how it goes.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
You've been so emotionally calm this whole time.
Thank you for your patience. There are instructions for fixing this exact issue in the user guide, page 53. I've attached a PDF version here. Author's note, I've not included the link. Follow the troubleshooting steps and you'll be good as new, replied Dan King.
It's not a guide for a video doorbell! Those are instructions for installing a Samsung smart fridge! Did you upload the wrong file? How is that supposed to help anybody? This is a support forum for Roost Video Doorbells! Idiot! They are in all caps like that, to be fair.
I mean, it's like the maddest this guy has ever been over a doorbell. Reply Paleo 10. Dan, just ignore that poster. He's a troll. I'm pretty sure that's his 6th account. Reply from Dan King.
Doesn't this fucking idiot not have anything better to do? Maybe he should just get a job with Roost tech support. It can't be that hard. Good news for once. Technical morons sending me a replacement. I just had to shout at them for 3 hours. Useless, I swear.
I scroll down and it's another reply from Dan King, and the entire message is in all caps.
The replacement sends the same alerts! No motion in the garden! No intruders, no animals! I've checked the video feed and there's nothing! Just a fuzzy shape I've rated these idiots 1 star on Amazon!
Reply from Lighting Nations. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm afraid I'm in the exact same boat. Triggering at 2:53. Video feed comes out garbled but is fine. Works perfectly the rest of the day. Tech guy said it might be a low tree branch blowing in the wind, but I'd expect to be receiving random alerts spaced out across several hours, not once per day at the exact same time. I spent a fair chunk of change on this thing, and now Roost won't issue a refund. Only replacements. Reply from deleted user. Sorry, it's my fault, Dan. I was in the garden piping your mom down wearing camo gear, which is why you couldn't see us.
Not funny.
That's really funny after Dan blows up there. That guy's a troll. He's like, sorry, Dan, I was doing your mom.
I was deep dicking your mom with my willy.
He got the accounts deleted because Dan just killed him. Reply from Paleo 10. Okay, so I'm not so sure the doorbell's actually the problem. I got held up at work last night, joys of working in IT, and was heating dinner at 2:53 when the microwave fritzed. The digital clock blinked on and off for a full minute. Meanwhile, my Echo device stopped mid-song, and I got another motion alert. 1 minute later, everything went back to normal. Well, maybe get an electrician round to have a look. Also, the footage distortion keeps getting worse. Now in the alerts, it kind of looks like there's static, except it's warping around the garden. Nearly gave my wife a heart attack. Reply from Lighting Nations. It's interesting about the electrics. Keep us posted. Reply Too Many Top Hats. My TV fritzed just now. Same problem as Paleo 10. Blinked on and off for a full minute right as the motion alert came through. Do you think maybe these things are draining power when they do overnight software updates or something? I'm not very technical. Might not make sense. Just a thought. I'm just going to check for grid faults with the council. Such is life in the south of England. Empty office blocks, rising hunger, and now potential rolling blackouts. Lovely. Reply Lighting Nations. Tell me about it. I'm in blank. Stories you hear are heartbreaking. Reply Paleo 10. Seriously? This is spooky. I'm in blank as well. I'm tempted to say there's a faulty batch of doorbells sitting in an Amazon warehouse somewhere that are going to start blowing fuses. A replacement's on the way out to me, by the way. Arranged it before noticing the problems with the microwave. Had the electrician round, and he saw no problems. I'd have smashed this thing already, but the missus saw how much I spent on it, so... Reply Too Many Top Hats. Holy shit, this is Too Many Top Hats reporting to you live from blank. And the 12 points from England go to... No, but seriously. Roost ships internationally. Weird we're all in the same city. Councils say everything's fine, by the way. Reply from new user, PixieChick01. Hi, experiencing same issue. I feel like, actually, you know what? You should also be Pixie Chick. Just given the screen name, I feel.
Hi, experiencing the same issue, also in...
Reply Too Many Top Hats. Quick update. The guy who lives 3 doors down from me also has a Roost doorbell, different model, and he has the exact same problem. Motion alerts and muddled footage at 2:53 works like a charm at all other times. Also, we're both now getting garbled audio like feedback whine from an amplifier in the recordings. The fun never ends. Reply, Dan King.
I'm in! Sick of this rubbish! Can't say what I really think because of the stupid admin idiots. Now getting somebody outside alerts, they sent me a 3rd device. Now installed. If one goes off again tonight, I'm gonna go outside and rip it out of the door frame and send the repair bill. I'm sick of this!
Just so much energy all at once. Have you ever got really mad with a customer service person?
All the time.
Okay.
They're not human. I don't talk to them as if they are human. Look how proud I was when I kind of like
Yeah,
readjusted.
you kind of like readjusted. You're like, yeah, I'm better than them. Yeah. Wait, and then another reply from Dan King.
Actually, the device is working now as intended. Go outside at 2:53. Check the camera.
All right, so Dan either is like super okay or he's
No, Dan's fucking dead. Dude.
yeah. There's a skinwalker.
This is a fucking.
taking over
This is
Dan
definitely
now.
like a British skinwalker.
It's working. Go outside. Go outside.
What would you call a British skinwalker?
Skin chap.
Wow.
Yeah.
A skin chap.
Chap skin.
Chap skin.
Chap skin. Old chap skin coming down the block.
Okay,
I saw him on the
I
telly.
think Dan King's turned himself into a chap skin.
Yeah, see, it works.
Yeah, you dirty chap skin.
I mean, skinwalker's kind of a slur in itself, right? Seeing like this ancient monster that like steals the faces of what it kills. And it's like, oh, what we got here? A skinwalker? Think you can walk around in people's skin, huh?
It's Australian.
What? I don't know. I mean,
Hello there.
the
What are
skinwalker's
you from over there?
Skinwalker's a native legend, so British or Australian would not interact with one.
I like chap skin.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's a thing of mystery. It's a chap skin over there.
Yeah,
I
that's
think I'll see it across the way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Chap skin.
You filthy chap skin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
chapskins can't drive.
when you add filthy when you add filthy to it, it really changes the tonation. Yeah.
Hey, getting behind the hey, driving behind a chap skin. Those blokes can't drive.
This used to be a nice neighborhood. Till the chapskins moved in. Reply, Paleo 10. I've got my replacement installed and this one bugs out worse than before. Now the bell rings for 1 minute nonstop and I get constant "there's somebody at the door" alerts. Hearing the stupid jingle in my dreams now. Won't even show the wife the footage because it's like a figure made of pixels keeps ringing the bell. Also hearing the high-pitched screech when I play back footage. I'm seriously about to go all Office Space on this thing. Apply too many top hats. Yeah, I'm confused. Dan, could you elaborate? Preferably with less capital letters and more punctuation than usual. Apply Paleo 10. Dan was right. Go outside at 2:53. Check the camera. Lighty Nation's reply. What do you mean check the camera? Check what specifically? Too many top hats. Yeah, +1, please elaborate. I've got the same problem as Paleo now, Lightning. Full minute of somebody at the door alerts and constant ding dong with multiple distortions about the garden. When I play back the recording audio from outside, it's all screechy. Also, the app is useless. Tried disabling alerts on the phone, but they still came through. Already I couldn't sleep because the wind keeps banging the gate. This is the last thing I need. Fed up, to be honest. I'll be hearing that stupid 2-note chime in hell the way things are going. One more night of this and I'm grabbing the sledgehammer. Let's see if it detects that motion. Reply, too many top hats. The others were right. Go outside at 2:53. Check the camera. Reply, Lighting Nations. What? It's freezing this time of year. I'm not getting out of bed in the middle of the night to check the camera. I've decided to get a Ring device instead and cut my losses. It's already been ordered. Cheers. So then that's the end of the forum post, and now it's back to Lighting Nation's account. Later that night, my phone buzzed on the bedside table. Like always, motion detected alerts started coming through at 2:53. Pulled up the grainy feed from outside, and in it, there were vague suggestions of figures scattered about the garden. By the fence post, under the tree, peeking through downstairs windows. Meanwhile, the soft 2-note chime rang out. Ding dong, ding dong. It happened again and again, gathering speed, morphing into a hysterical scream. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. I got up and peeled back the curtain just a few inches. All of a sudden, there came a pounding from downstairs. A furious thump, thump, thump. So powerful, the windows and doors almost burst from their housings. What are you smiling about?
I'm Harry Dresden. This is my neighborhood, motherfucker. It's him. I was thinking about that like halfway through. I'm like, it's just that guy. Let me in. Where is she?
Who's Harry Dresden?
The guy that went, the guy, the viral ring
Oh,
doorbell
that
guy.
video. That's right.
He
That's
says,
right.
I'm Harry Dresden. Which also, I think that's like a video game character's name or something. Open the fucking door now. I'm just picturing that guy out there with that door. With that, he has like the bell. He's like, ding, 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 ah! He's like whipping the door with the chain.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. The house became alive with movement. It felt like being trapped inside a tornado. Everything around me rattling and quivering. Storm shutters scratching against walls. The letterbox rapping away. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. I sprinted into the bathroom and barricaded myself inside and called the police. The phone buzzing with a chorus of nonstop alerts. There's someone at the door. There's someone at the door. There's someone. And then, out of nowhere, the house lowered its voice and went back to sleep. I checked my phone. 2:54. Now, trembling, I brought up the feed from outside. There was nothing except a peaceful garden and the quiet section of street that lay beyond it. 2 officers turned up, checked the footage, and dismissed the encounter as a mixture of a technical glitch, an overactive imagination, and some nasty weather. But when I next clicked onto the forum, there were 4 new posts.
It's 2:53. Time to come outside.
Reply Paleo 10. It's 2:53. Time to come outside. Reply Pixie Chick 01.
It's 2:53. Time to come outside.
Reply Too Many Top Hats. It's 2:53. Time to come outside. That's pretty fun. That's a fun little story of like this entity that's like at this 1 minute, for whatever reason, in this area, it's going door to door trying to convince people that they need to come outside, and seemingly they join it or it consumes them, then pretends to be them or something like that. But it's a fun thing told through like a help forum for a doorbell thing.
Oh, yeah. It's a Diet Coke. I'm sorry.
It's okay. All right, so,
It's okay.
it's okay. Sorry, you don't have to apologize. I understand what happened.
Man, time's creepy, huh?
What?
Like time itself. Creepy concept.
All right, so that was Lighting Nations. You can check them out. It'll be linked in the description below. Hunter, we have one more story today.
All right.
That story is, I was an air traffic controller at Atlantic Municipal Airport, Iowa for 27 years. My first year at the job, I unwillingly went from a firm atheist to a believer. And the story is posted by INAACE. The name is INAAACE. The profile picture is terrifying.
Yeah, their profile picture is terrifying?
Yes.
Yeah, that is kind of fucked up.
So
Looks like Michael Jackson eating a potato.
I don't think that's Michael Jackson.
That is it?
I don't think so. They posted a lot in r/golf and golf and stuff like that. Then about 4 years ago, they started talking about how they have cancer and how that's making it more and more difficult to play. And then they posted a lot on r/cancer about their condition and stuff like that. And then they haven't posted in 3 years. It's pretty rough.
Man, this is the second person that we've come across that we're just like, people have recommended the story, and then you find out that the person just passed. It's such a weird part of this podcast, and even just being like an internet user, stumbling across people's just completely live interactions. Like you look at these comments, and you're just like, oh, these are people that are just
He liked
living
golfing,
life. But now there's so much documentation out there now that it's just like you're gonna keep seeing this. Like people years from now are gonna see stuff, or like whenever we're gone too, they're gonna see that stuff and be like, that's insane. You know, like it's odd. Well, I mean,
it's kind of like, you know, people always say if it's on the internet, it's there forever, which is normally meant as a negative thing. But in other ways, you know, you have something like this where 11 years ago, this guy wrote a story that he thought was cool enough to post online, and other people, even after he passes, still recommend it, still think it's a cool story, still pass it around. I remember there was there's this YouTube video by a guy named Jacob Geller. He makes like these really cool video essays, but he was talking about this video game where the plot of it was like it's these eternal beings that are trying to figure out how to make stories, basically. And the resolution they come to at the end is they can't understand storytelling because they're not human. They're not temporary creatures who know loss and life and stuff like that. And Jacob Geller said something at the end of that video I think about all the time. He said, stories are our immortality. They're a kinder collective immortality. I've always thought that's such a cool way to look at it. It's like all of us contribute to this one thing that a piece of us lives on forever. And sure, it's not all about us, but in that way, we never die. I think that's a really cool idea. And this is an example of that where he's gone. We didn't even know he was gone because the only thing that we were introduced to was that it's a cool story. something that staying. So that's pretty cool. So iNace, we'll have their account linked in the description if you want to scroll through, see what else they've written and stuff like that. But in honor of them, Hunter, are you ready to get into it? Let's get into it. My uncle and aunt came to visit me here in Atlanta. We got to talking about all sorts of general things. You know how family is, but we somehow ended up on the topic of strange and supernatural. This is when my uncle started telling me a story that he says will haunt him all the way to his grave. I stopped him 2 minutes into it, got to my laptop because I wanted to write it down for no sleep. These are his memories, almost word for word. Forgive the non-traditional writing. Are you typing? You are? Okay. And your friends on the internet will read this? All right, but warn them that these are just old man's memories. Okay, so back to the beginning. So I graduated from Fordham in 1974 and still had no idea what to do. Times were different then. We were able to find jobs easily. God, I remember companies practically begging us to work for them. But I didn't want to do some shitty desk job for the rest of my life, so I waited. Then one day, while flying to visit your aunt on Thanksgiving, I caught myself being fascinated with the complexity of air traffic systems. That's all it took. I decided to become an air traffic controller. By the time I turned 27, I had passed all of the necessary tests and have accumulated enough experience to be hired and work without a supervision. Thing with air traffic controllers is that you don't really get to choose where you're going to work in the beginning. Sure, we all wanted to work at JFK or Hartsfield-Jackson, but those jobs just weren't available to us rookies. So I had to take a job in a bum little town in Iowa called Atlantic. It was literally a single landing strip in a damn cornfield, but I had to pay my dues. And the money was all right. Now, small airports like these usually only work 8 to 5, but this particular strip was in such a geographical location that there were a lot of flights going above us at any time. So we needed to stay open until 4 a.m. in case of emergency landing. By staying open, I mean I had to sit in the control tower, and there was one security guy sleeping in the airport's only terminal. It wasn't that bad, really. I'd bring my books and crossword puzzles, and I'd spend hours on the phone with your aunt. You know how they say that the air traffic controller is the most stressful job in the world? Well, I was bored 99% of the time. And that 1% was guiding small Cessnas into my cornfield airport. So why am I telling you all this? Well, about 3 months into my job, something started happening. Something that even today I can't really... I'll save you the talk about the supernatural, but what happened at that airport just ain't right. February 20th, 1979. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a regular winter night in Iowa. Winds and freezing cold, but no snow. I was supposed to work till close, although we didn't have any flights scheduled. Around 1 a.m., I received a radio message from a small Cessna about 30 miles from the airport. They were having a really bad snowstorm up in Omaha and needed to land here in Atlantic. I guess being open late was justified after all. Got my binoculars out, verified the visibility, and started guiding the aircraft. Though it was really windy out there, they managed to touch down. I looked through the binoculars to verify the landing went okay, and that's when I saw her for the first time. Just walking down the runway as if it were a normal street was this woman. Shit, I don't know. Now, there were about 100 things wrong with this situation. First, the woman was wearing some sort of short summer dress or a nightgown. She was barefoot, believe it or not. Normal person would be cold dressed like that during the summer, let alone our winter. And then you had to wonder what in the world was this person doing walking down the active runway, and how the hell did she get there to begin with?
Flight 84, this is Alex from Air Traffic Control. Do you happen to see a woman walking down the runway towards you?
I asked the pilot who just landed.
Let me check.
Still watching through binoculars, I saw him open the door of the plane to get out. He started walking towards the woman. Not gonna lie, at that point, I was having a lot of fun. Not much happened in Atlantic, Iowa, and this certainly wasn't entertaining. I couldn't wait to hear her story. My bet was that she got in a car accident near the airport. Well, the pilot walked up to her, and I could make it that he was saying something. I saw, still through the binoculars, her lean to his ear and almost whisper something to him. He just stood there for a good 10 seconds with neither of them moving. She was still leaned close to his ear. Then he snapped out of it, I guess, turned around, and literally sprinted to the plane. When I saw the propellers starting to rotate, I jumped on my radio.
Flight 84, what are you doing?
No answer.
Flight 84, I repeat, what is happening?
Nothing. Then the plane started moving, speeding up.
Flight 84, you do not have permission to take off. I repeat, you are not cleared for takeoff.
There was no answer. That damn Cessna kept speeding up, then took off. Nothing I could do, really, besides making sure that no other planes were above us at the time. I tried one more time.
Flight 84, this is air traffic control. What the hell is happening?
Then my radio started making white noise. It was all I could hear coming from the radio.
Flight 84, please repeat. You're breaking up.
What a night, I thought. Radio started transmitting again.
Run! Run! Run!
Flight 84, did you say run? Please repeat yourself.
Nothing else came from out of the damn radio. The plane was long gone. Dude, if I was in air traffic and I witnessed that, and then the guy's like, run, 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 I'd be like, well, all right, got it.
The
Don't
only
need to
person
tell
air
me twice.
traffic control. Yeah, no, fuck that.
Yeah, you're
I'm leaving.
alone in the whole airport.
yeah.
It's just you.
I'm good.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm either running immediately or I'm never leaving that room again.
Yeah, I'm up there forever.
Until sunlight, and I'm like, someone's going to have to pull me out of here. I sat in my chair trying to decipher what just happened. Run from what? What the hell? And then it dawned on me. The woman. Grabbed the binoculars. She was looking straight at me. Yeah, no. No. No, absolutely not. Good 200 yards away at night. She was somehow looking straight at me. Eyes open so wide, it's hard to explain what she looked like. I guess, you know how when someone's super surprised? I don't like
I mean, isn't it like that, right?
It's like like the impossibly wide eyes.
Almost like she has no eyelids or
It
something.
kind of reminds me of the image of the woman in my head's the image of that girl from the beginning of the first VHS.
Oh, sure.
The girl, I want you.
The succubus.
I want you. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's what she says. I like you. Yeah. Like when you startle someone and their eyes just get so wide, some sort of defense mechanism, I suppose. That's how she was looking. Straight at me.
What in the world?
At that moment, she started running towards me.
Some fucking barefoot demonic bitch running towards me. Are you kidding me? Fuck that.
No.
I'd have my parachute backpack and I would do. I would be gliding out of that.
Bro. Oh my gosh. That always freaks me out in stories or like movies and stuff where you can
the
see
dead
something
sprint? Yeah.
running really fast, but it's far enough away.
Yeah, like the binoculars kind of
yes,
thing.
yeah.
You look up.
She started running towards my tower. Like not jogging, but really running. Still looking straight at me. I swear to you, goosebumps ran all over me like 10,000 cold ants. What do you mean by that, Uncle? You know, well, we've all had 10,000 warm ants.
Oh,
but
that was kind of a fun
imagine
analogy.
if the ants were cold. You know, I'm not one to get scared. Shit, I spent 6 years in Vietnam. Something about this situation. Something that's just...
I don't know. There's something kind of funny about this
my
one.
finger on you, but something's a little off here. Something about this situation. Something about that pilot telling me to run and this woman running towards me. Something seems so wrong.
Joe, are you there? Joe?
I blurted into the radio. Joe's our night security guard. He didn't answer. Shit, I looked through the window just in time to see the woman run into my town.
Oh my god, dude.
Bro. Dude.
I like how the one pilot, desperate back to his plane and he just had a plane and just took off and flew away. It's actually such a fun visual now, funny visual now. Thinking
It's
about
like, okay, run. And he doesn't say anything to the guy except run.
Yeah.
Like, what a loser to not give any data, to not be like, you need to
Kind of a
leave the
dickhead.
tower.
Yeah, kind of a
run,
dickhead.
run. This guy helped you land your plane. Looked through the window just in time to see the woman run into my tower. I heard the door downstairs slam open. I honestly didn't know what to do. This wasn't a rational situation, you know. If it were some sort of terrorist or whatever, I'd know what needs to be done. But was this situation malicious? It was certainly strange, and that exact weirdness that not knowing what is happening is what made me run into the bathroom and lock the doors. As I turned the lock, I heard the control room doors open. God. You know, in your Generations movies, you just hear quiet footsteps of some invader slowly looking for you, and then the shadows show up under the door. Well, this was the opposite. As soon as those doors opened, chaos began. I tried peeking through the keyhole, but all I was able to see is fast shadow running across the room, accompanied by tremendous noise. I swear, I was so shocked that at one point I nearly opened the door just to see what was causing all this. Then a hard slam into the bathroom door had me nearly fall on the floor, and then nothing. Silence. I could lie and pretend I was brave enough to get out of that bathroom soon after, but I wasn't, I'll admit it. I stayed in there the whole night, waiting for the morning shift. Around 7:54 a.m., I heard a familiar voice say,
What in the fuck?
It was Clark, the morning shift controller. I opened the door to see a scene so twisted that even to this day, I remember every detail. Control room was nearly totaled. Radios ripped out, papers and manuscripts everywhere, radar screens smashed to pieces. When the police came, I gave the full report. It took 11 days to repair all the equipment and get the room fully functional. The security guard on duty that night was fired. They even started considering installing security cameras. I know. Today that seems like a normal thing to do, but it wasn't back in the day. Police had no idea what to make of it. They just urged us to report anything suspicious. I used the 11-day break to sort myself out, and by the end of that forced vacation, I was convinced that all of this was caused by some deranged woman, possibly a mental patient, whatever made me sleep at night, right? I came back to work on March 4th. I was a bit worried about working nights again, but I was convinced that whoever did this was far gone by now. The next month or so was very uneventful, just how I liked it. Iowa was scheduled to get hit with the big snowstorm that day. Most of the flights were grounded, but some were still in the air, and I had to work. I hated it because if we did get hit with heavy snow, I'd probably end up being stranded. I wish that was the worst thing that happened. Around 11 p.m. that night, when it was already snowing big time, I received a radio message from a small private jet that was some 50 miles away. They were getting caught in heavy winds, and the pilots wanted to land on our airport immediately. Now, jets like that would traditionally be too big to land at our strip, but the emergency like this called for overriding of guidelines.
Flight 676, you are clear to land. We have to remain in contact at all times. The strip's pretty short. Do you acknowledge?
Sure thing. Let's just get this puppy down, shall we?
Snowing heavily by that point. Thankfully, we had a cleanup crew de-ice and clean the runway before they headed home, so it was still in decent condition. Again, back then, we were way more relaxed about the rules. I took a look at the strip to make sure it was clear. And out of nowhere, just when I forgot about her, she appeared. She was just slowly strolling down the strip, about 100 yards away from the tower, her bare feet slowly moving across the freezing asphalt. The worst part about it, she was looking straight at me again. Again, with those crazy eyes. This is when I realized what the most disturbing thing about her was. She wasn't blinking. I was looking at her for a good 2 minutes, winds and snow blasting in her face, and she wasn't blinking. It was almost as if she didn't want to lose a millisecond of looking straight at me.
Oh, God. Flight 676, maintain. I repeat, maintain the altitude until further communication.
Traffic control, this is 676. That's a negative. We cannot maintain with headwinds like this. We have to land. Are we clear? We're 6 minutes away.
I couldn't risk the lives of people up in that plane. I had to land them, despite this, whatever this was, walking down the runway.
Cleared to land 676.
I put down the radio and looked through the window. She was now some 10 yards away, coming closer to the tower. Though I shouldn't, under any circumstances, leave the control room, I ran down to the first floor and locked the outside door. I knew she was close, and I knew she was coming. When I got back to the room, I heard the radio.
Control tower, we're approaching the runway. Please advise.
Rotate 3 degrees right. Acknowledge.
Copy that. We see the lights now. See you soon.
Looked up through the window and could see the plane in the distance. There was no trace of the woman on the runway. I sighed a breath of relief. I was going to deal with this issue after the jet had safely landed. At that moment, a loud noise broke through the tower. I didn't want to believe it, but I was afraid that the first floor door had slammed open. How the hell? I locked it. I know I did. The goosebumps overcame me again, almost as if my body could feel something that I couldn't. My first instinct was to lock myself in the bathroom again, but I couldn't. I couldn't leave the radio. Footsteps on the metal stairs were getting louder. She, I assumed it was her, wasn't running at least, but the violent sound of footsteps made me think she was, what? Slamming her feet into the ground with every step she made?
676, this is traffic control. I have visual confirmation. Clear to land.
I heard the control room doors open. This is when I realized just how afraid I was. You know, I'm almost 70 now, and I'm not embarrassed to admit how scared I was at that moment. Matter of fact, I was so scared that I couldn't even turn around, if you can believe that. I just couldn't face what was behind me. This was very unusual because I was always composed and rational. Always, whether it was being stuck in a ditch in a Vietnamese jungle or being nearly hit by an 18-wheeler on the highway. Always calm, and there I was, staring straight at my radio, unable to turn my head and face it. I'm sure your friends on the internet will laugh at how I reacted, but I guarantee most of you would have been the same. But I guarantee most of you would behave the same. Your body just doesn't behave normally when you're terrified.
Traffic control, 30 seconds out. Here we go.
I slowly pressed the talk button on the radio, my teeth literally chattering.
All clear.
Then I felt a cold breath on my neck. She was behind me, breathing slowly into my neck. I could feel the lips move up to my ear. You know how when you're a kid and someone was messing behind your back, making faces or bunny ears, and you could somehow feel it? I could feel the mouth an inch from my ear, though I couldn't even see her with the corner of my eye. I was still nearly paralyzed. I admit, I used to be ashamed of my inability to act in this surreal situation, but now when I look at it, no one can tell me they'd react any differently. It just wasn't an earthly situation, you know?
Come down. To field, come down.
The whisper crawled into my ear. You normally think that hearing a voice would somehow diffuse the situation, or at least brush away any thoughts of supernatural, but that voice was so different than anything I've ever heard. I'm not a writer, I can't explain it. It was cold, and human even. But what scared me the most was the anger I felt in it. Though she whispered, I could feel the rage. And I don't even know how to put it into words. Her voice lacked something that every other voice had. I don't know.
Touchdown, traffic control, 676 is on the ground. Hope you have some hot chocolate ready.
The woman behind me snapped back, and I heard what I assumed was running. I forced myself to turn around just in time to her running out, barefoot.
676, welcome.
I made myself say into the radio. Though my legs were still foreign to the rest of my body, I propped myself up and looked through the window. I was expecting to see the woman running out, but she was nowhere to be seen. I thought that she was still in the building. This time I managed to get the security guy on the radio, and he showed up a few minutes later. Did a full walk through the tower, no trace of the woman. I started feeling relieved only when the police showed up. They thoroughly searched the building with no success. They did notice the trace of footsteps coming from the neighboring cornfield to the tower, but there were no prints going back. Imagine my situation at the time. Just take a second to think about it. You're the only one to ever see this woman. I'll call her a woman. I wouldn't be surprised if the police started thinking that I was hitting the bottle during work. I decided to keep it to myself until I could prove there was this person disrupting or haunting the airport. I couldn't really quit, and honestly, would you? Probably not. I mean, yes, these were two absolutely surreal experiences, and I did feel some sort of intangible hazard, but I didn't think my life was ever in danger. I decided to stick with it. Winter was almost over anyways. Spring brought more horror than winter ever could.
End of part 1.
I gotta say, this is pretty good. I'm vibing with this. I'm vibing with this tone pretty much. I like the, for one, what a G to have that thing behind you and not abandon your post for the plane coming in.
Sorry.
You could have done that on the... You could have done that on the show. That would have been funny. I see. I got you. Yeah, he was like, hey, air traffic control. Gotta go. I think that this is a fun setup with the creepy woman And it's like you don't know what she wants, but it's clearly hostile the way she runs, and now she wants him to come out to the cornfield. And it only shows up when there's emergency landings. So I think it's pretty cool. It's a cool concept. I think that the uncle's a G for surviving through this and like not abandoning his post when most people would. This is a really cool story so far. I'm excited for part 2. Are you ready?
I am ready. Part 2.
Part 2. This won't make much sense to you if you haven't read my first write-up from a few months back. Again, this was a conversation with my uncle, who was an air traffic controller in Atlantic Municipal Airport in Iowa during the 70s. This is his account, word for word. I'm just tying it up. The city council finally listened to me and decided to install a security camera. Due to municipal bureaucracy and limited funds, or so they say, they only mounted one camera that could stream video to the control room. Stream, not record. Let that sink in. Who installs cameras that only stream? Town of Atlantic does, that's who. Anyways, I had to pick my battles, so I had them install a camera in front of the tower door. That way I could always see who's outside. A good month has passed since the last encounter, and to be honest, the horror started to dull away. It was still fresh in my mind, yes, but the lack of new developments had me thinking it all ended as quickly as it started. In my mind, she was probably some lunatic who decided to move on. Then, on May 3rd, I received a memo letting me know I needed to stay late that day, since some local politician's plane was due to land around 10 p.m. Naturally, I guess, my mind went straight to thinking about the crazy girl. You know, this was the first late night for me since the last encounter. 9:45 came around and there was no sight of the plane. I didn't care though. My eyes were glued to the binoculars, searching for any movement on the strip. Even a minimal commotion and my heart would race. Then, God, it still scares me to this day. Then, for some reason, I decided to look down at the monitor that camera was streaming on, and my world turned upside down. I expected her. I really did. You can expect something unnatural, but you're never really ready for it. You always hope that it was just your imagination or something. But no, there she stood, right in front of the camera, in her summer white dress. She looked different, though. She was holding her arms as if she were freezing. She was shaking, and I could hear crying through the shitty speakers they gave me. This wasn't the entity I remember terrorizing me. Then, she looked up at the camera, and though the picture was grainy and black and white, I could see tears in her eyes.
Please, it's freezing out here.
She cried at the camera. Audio was obviously out of sync as she opened her mouth, and voice would come through my speakers much later.
Please.
I'm not sure what you do in that situation, but I immediately saw an opportunity. If I can bring her in and call the security guard, I'd finally have the proof that I wasn't making it all up.
Jerry, get to the control tower right now, please.
I said as I stood up. He's gonna let her in?
I think because he's like, it's the proof that I need, and she's like desperate, I guess.
Just have him come look at the camera.
Well, that's not how they do it in Iowa.
You know what? I don't care what happens to this guy now. Immediately, all my goodwill about him. I've got to let this thing inside. I walked down. I know. I shouldn't have left an active control tower, but this was my chance. I propped the door open. Adrenaline bursting through my pores.
Are you okay?
I mumbled with my voice cracking like a schoolgirl's. Shit, I was scared, man, you know? Yeah, you're opening the door for this thing. She was still sobbing, hair covering her face. I was shaking, not sure whether from cold or fear or both, but I needed to get her to come in. I stepped out. She took a step towards me, still crying.
Ma'am, are you all right?
I spoke again, this time more firmly. She moved the hair off her face and looked me straight in the eyes. Damn, I can't explain it, but her eyes, although still filled with tears, just weren't the same as on camera. They widened, and I swear to you, she wasn't blinking.
Ma'am, please step back.
I said as she moved another step closer.
Just open the door for her.
Opens the door for her. Whoa.
All right, babe.
What's all this?
All right, baby, sweetheart. I'm gonna need you to take a step
Hey,
back.
hey, baby girl, I need you to take a couple of step back.
Talking baby to her? What the fuck?
This is like my impression of Nick's Discord voice. Yeah.
Nice, sweetheart.
Hi, sweetheart. You need to take a couple of steps back, yeah. My lady. I said as she moved one step closer, now about a foot away from me.
Ma'am, please step back.
She repeated, oh, she's saying it.
Ma'am, please step back.
She repeated my words, nearly freezing blood on
She's
my
negging him.
face. Yes. Ma'am, please step back.
He's like getting a boner. He's like, oh no.
Yeah, this is like a skinwalker thing that's been haunting the cornfield for years. And he's like, well, come on in. I got to show someone else that you're I got to kill my
chapskin?
friend. Yeah, chaps again. Yeah. My legs gave in and I almost fell to the ground. Her voice wasn't the same one that spoke into the camera. This voice was genderless. Is that a word?
It was they, them?
I think it's non-binary. Her voice didn't belong to a woman or a man, I swear to you. But that wasn't what petrified me. See these goosebumps? Now you know I'm telling the truth, right? Her voice came out with delay, just like on the camera. Her lips moved, but the words came out a few seconds later.
What the fuck?
I mumbled as I leaned against the door, not believing what I was seeing.
What the fuck?
She mumbled back at me, that damn voice coming out after her mouth had closed.
Leave me alone. Get the fuck away from me.
I screamed at her, and I mean screamed. I'd never heard myself this loud before. Accumulation of all fear and anger, I suppose. She took a violent step towards me, and her face got so close to mine, I think her nose touched me. She opened her mouth wide, as if she were screaming, but it was silent. And then, seconds after she closed her mouth, scream came out of her throat. It was unearthly and so piercing that I was completely shell-shocked and unable to do so much as move. I was frozen still in the spot, and she, without moving her face from mine, she raised her right arm and pointed at the cornfield. Her eyes were so wide that they didn't look human anymore. She just stood like that for a good 30 seconds, or eternity in my time, not blinking. I couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't. I gathered all the bravery I've ever had, and I pushed her.
Look at the camera and do the scream, but don't make the sound, and edit the thing in. So point as if you're
So
pointing
don't scream? Just
Yeah,
act like I am?
but do your mouth as if you are screaming, and then editor will put the scream in once you close your mouth and it's emanating from your throat.
Okay,
But you have to be pointing like you're at a cornfield.
I have to point like I'm in a cornfield?
Like you're pointing at the cornfield.
Oh. Is that good? Did you like that? The way your mouth curled on that was so funny for some reason.
That's how we scream now.
It's
Let's
like-
do it together at the same time.
Get ready.
What?
You look like you're holding in a burp.
No. Wrong. False.
Unlike invincible creatures in today's books and movies, she fell as any normal human would. She fell on her back, but as soon as she hit the ground, she got up unnaturally fast. I mean, no human I've ever seen got up with such speed. At that moment, I was certain this was the end of me. But as soon as she stood back up, she turned around and ran towards the field. I didn't want to stop her. I'm not sure I even could. I stood there for some time, trying to figure out what reality I lived in. And then finally gathered myself enough to climb back to the control room. Security guard showed up a good 35 minutes later, giving me some bullshit excuse for taking so long. Politician's plane landed late as well, and I chose not to tell anyone about the encounter as I was running the risk of sounding insane at that point. I didn't know what to do, but I did know that she wasn't going to leave me alone. I spent the next 6 nights at the airport glued to my binoculars, scouting the ground for any movement. I talked the guard into doing a walkthrough of the strip every couple hours, just on the off chance that she'd be caught. Naturally, I didn't tell him what to look for because I didn't want to sound crazy when he found nothing. It was night 7 since the encounter, and I was spending my hours staring down the binoculars. I saw the guard walk around 8:45 p.m. He saw me in the tower, so he laughed and waved, giving me thumbs up. This wasn't going to work. She wasn't about to get caught. When I showed up for the next day shift, everyone was giggling in the break room.
What's going on here?
I asked, wanting to join on the fun.
Oh, you know.
Jerry, the guard said, bursting with laughter with the others.
I really don't. What's the joke? Well, I was just telling the guys about your boring nights.
He said, chuckling and air quoting the word boring.
What do you mean? Oh, come on, man. It's only guys in here. It's all right. No, I really don't know what you mean. Well, I didn't see you guys last night, so I was just telling the boys how good you have it up there in the control room. What do you mean, you guys? What'd you see? Oh, come on now, man. I saw you and your lady friend up there last night when I did the walkthrough. Remember me waving at you?
Brother. Dude. I'd be like, all right, moving out of Iowa, changing my name, going to the other side of the country. Absolutely not. It's like, man, I can't find her. She's just floating behind you the whole time. Yeah, also this guy seeing
he sees an ethereal being like floating behind him. He's just like, oh, buddy's getting his dick sucked up there.
Brother's getting it. Yeah.
Fuck you, Jerry.
What a loser. Like reversing a VHS, memories from last night started pouring through my mind. Nothing happened though. Nothing that I could remember. I was looking at the airfield the whole night. Jerry even saw me and waved, and nothing was out of the ordinary, and his wave, his laugh, thumbs up.
Yeah, I saw your lady friend standing behind you when I waved. I'm sorry, I didn't know it was a secret.
I don't know how my legs worked, but I used them to run out of the break room, escorted by laughter from my coworkers. That would be a funny visual.
That description is pretty funny because it reads like this. He's like, I don't know how my legs work, but he's just like...
And it's funny for everyone else because he walks in. Jerry's been telling about like, yeah, he had this girl up here. He's like, oh, we saw your lady friend, and he's just like, like
we saw your lady friend. She was up there licking your butthole.
Okay, all right. We don't need to go to the. We don't need to get all the graphics of it or anything. I think we can all assume what goes on.
Heels up in there
all
like
right.
this.
Okay.
Yeah. Amelia Earhart it.
She was a nice lady. We just went to her home.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, first thought.
Sitting up there sniffing and licking your butthole.
First thought.
There's something funny about somebody just saying butthole, isn't it? How often do you actually hear butthole now? I feel like when you're a kid, you're like, you used to always say like, you're a butthole.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But now I haven't, I don't know, I love it.
We can be 8 if you want to act like we're 8 years old.
I want to be 8 years old again.
Okay. All right.
Please. Also, Jerry rules, by the way.
Yeah, Jerry's pretty cool.
He's 35 minutes late.
Other than being 35 minutes late when he's like, I need you here right now.
He's probably 35 minutes late because he's like, oh yeah, I don't want to go up there and watch you get your ass eaten by your lady friend.
You think Jerry worked at the World Trade Center? You think they're like, hey, we need you to come check something out. He's like, yeah. And he like turns the corner. He's like, oh my gosh.
He sees a ghost up there too, eating another guy's ass.
All right,
he's just like, is that a good Jerry impression?
First thought, at least I wasn't going insane. Someone else saw her, you know? Second thought, what in the God's name? She was behind me? For how long? And how in the hell didn't I hear her? Honestly, I had no idea what to do at that point. The only hope for my well-being was that she'd get caught by someone other than me. Otherwise, everything I said to anyone would make me sound insane.
I didn't hear. No wonder it sounded like somebody eating a bowl of chili behind me the rest of the night.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That's not what was happening, Hunter. That's not what was happening.
Dog eating a bowl of chili.
It sounded like a Rottweiler eating a bowl of pedigree.
Oh my god!
There was a scary woman behind him. That's all that was happening.
What is that sound? Yeah, no wonder he doesn't quit that job in Iowa. I wouldn't either.
This chair is comfortable.
Yeah, Herman Miller. My word. Yeah, who would have thought these gaming chairs were this comfy?
I have a Herman Miller, and I can confirm it doesn't do that.
Yeah, it's cool that we got those Herman Millers that clean your bottom. Oh, him up in that control tower. Oh, I wish.
Okay. The only hope for my well-being was that she'd get caught by someone other than me. Otherwise, everything I said to anyone would make me sound insane. 2 weeks had passed by with no further sight. I hate how much you poisoned this story for me now. 'Cause I imagine him like leaned over on his elbows with his binoculars looking out the window and behind him. Okay. Oh. Stop it. Quit. 2 weeks had passed by with no further sighting of her. Then, sometime in early June, and mind you, I was still scanning the airstrip every night. Okay. I saw her at the edge of the field. She just stood there. I must have watched her for 2 hours and she didn't move a finger.
She didn't.
I
She
hate you so much.
She didn't move a finger, and she was knuckle deep.
You know what? You know what's the worst thing about it? I hate these jokes. They're so gross, but you're funny, and that makes it awful.
It writes itself, dude. The fucking she didn't move a finger. Come on.
I must have watched her for 2 hours, and she didn't move a finger. She just stood, looking straight at me, 100 yards away in the control tower. After the initial shock, and again, every time I saw her was a shock to me, I did the only logical thing and picked up the radio. I called Jerry and asked him to do a walkthrough. As soon as the door of the airport barn opened, she slowly walked back into the cornfield, never taking her eyes off me. By the time Jerry walked by where she stood, she was long gone. This happened every night for the next 8 days. She'd stand at the edge of the field, staring at me and not blinking, and every time Jerry would come out, she'd slowly disappear into the field. One night I called Jerry up in the control room for a sip of whiskey, hoping she'd come out and I'd show her to him. It's always so convenient in movies though, isn't it? The entity whose existence you're trying to prove never appears before witnesses, right? Well, Jerry came up and we shared a nice bottle of Jack Daniels over some small talk. I was discreetly keeping an eye on the cornfield. At the same time she always appeared, I noticed movement in the field, and there she was. Came out of the field and froze in the same spot she always does. Had to be careful. I was so excited. Man, I was overrun with emotion. She was finally about to get caught. But I had to contain myself so I could look somewhat sane while telling Jerry what was happening.
Hey, Jerry, do you see what I see?
I asked as I handed him the binoculars.
Down by the cornfield.
Him staring down the strip were the longest 5 seconds of my life.
What in the world is that girl doing there?
Man, the sense of relief.
All right. I have something to tell you.
I spoke calmly. It took about 5 minutes to give him a gist of what was happening. All the stalking, control room destruction, incident on camera.
Jesus, man. Why didn't you tell me something earlier? Would you believe me if I did?
He just shook his head.
All right.
Jerry said as he stood up.
You call the police, and I'm going to go down there and speak with her. I'll hold her until they come.
All right, Jerry. You do that, buddy.
Yeah, good luck, bud.
Iowa's strongest soldier marching off to be ripped to shreds at the end of the runway.
All right. I'll take care of it.
I wanted to tell him to be careful. I wanted to even stop him, but more than anything, really, I wanted it all to end. I dialed 911 while I watched Jerry walk down the strip toward this thing by the field. She wasn't moving. Matter of fact, she was still looking straight at me.
she whispers in his ear and he does dead sprints to a plane and flies off too. Jerry, no!
What do you think she whispered to the first guy that made him run?
Probably didn't she say come to the field, whatever? Was it something like that maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
If you saw a woman outside and she said come to the field, that wouldn't be immediate reason to take off in your airplane, you know?
I guess it's true.
They'd have to whisper like something about me no one else knew. Or like a dead relative's name or something like that.
What would they say? What would they have to say for you to get in a plane and fly off?
It'd have to be like if I had a family member that recently died, they said like they're waiting for me or whatever, like and this random person just knows about that or something, that would I'd be like, all right, I'm out. I'm leaving. Because if I saw a woman, like realistically outside of the story, if a crazy woman came up and was like, come to the cornfield, I'd be like, what is this crack addict doing on the runway? It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Stop to get away from me. It was late, and Atlantic is such a small, uneventful town. The cops said it'd take a good 15 minutes to come to the airport. Binoculars pointed at her as Jerry approached. I saw that he started to talk to her. She was still looking straight into my eyes, all the way from there. Then, without taking her eyes off of me, she leaned towards his ear and whispered something. I don't know what. I'm not a lip reader. He took a step back, then another one. He turned around and looked at me. I've never seen such a terrified look on another human. This man was beyond himself. Face so petrified, it didn't even resemble the Jerry I knew. He ran into the field. Bro.
Jesus.
Is all I could say. And she was still looking at me. Only she had this, what do you call it? Misbehaving smile on her face. I had it. That pilot and Jerry both ran away from her after she whispered something to them. And why was I still here? What was happening to me? I had it. I ran down the stairs and out of the tower. She was standing in her spot. As I ran to her, I could see she still had that smile on her pale face. No more talking. This wasn't a movie and I wasn't about to let her run again. I tackled her. It sounds funny, I know, but I ran into that bitch and I hit her hard. We both hit the pavement as soon as I got on top of her. I noticed she still had the smile, even though there was a big cut on her forehead. She wasn't talking. She wasn't resisting. She was just laying there, smiling at me and bleeding. I heard the car pull up by the strip, and you can imagine how thankful I was when I saw it was the police.
Over here! Here!
I screamed as I held her down, though she wasn't really trying to escape. As the cops ran toward us, I looked at her one last time.
Why? Why?
I asked, so frustrated, so angry. She just smiled even wider.
See you later, alligator.
She was... What?
It's kind of cringe.
Oh, the line's kind of cringe? Well, it may have some grace. Hold on. She whispered, second before a police officer pulled me off her. Her words came out with delay again. That wasn't the last shock of the night.
Help me, officer! This man was trying to kill me!
The girl cried as the officer helped her up.
He tried to murder me!
I was speechless. This woman, I thought she was, what, a demon? Was now acting human. I was sure she was finally caught, but as the cop turned to me, I realized I was alone on the strip, nearly choking a defenseless woman. Jerry was nowhere to be found.
Take me,
I said as the officer stepped towards me. The sense of helplessness was the most overwhelming feeling I've ever experienced.
But please, don't let her get away.
I spent the night in jail, certain that I was going to be found guilty for everything, with the only witness long gone to who knows where. When my buddies from the airport came to bail me out in the morning, I was so tired I didn't feel like explaining anything. I just told them that.
If Jerry were here, he'd tell you. What? Jerry's at the airport right now.
I was in disbelief, but I didn't want to waste a second. 20 minutes later, I was standing in front of Jerry.
Jerry, man, why'd you tell anyone?
I asked, nearly crying from all emotions.
Tell what?
Jerry answered as he laughed and looked around the break room that was now full of co-workers.
Jerry, I went to jail because of her, man. You gotta tell him. Look, man, why don't you get some rest and we could talk about this later, all right?
Jerry said in a condescending voice, patting my shoulder. I lost it. I just started crying. I was the most helpless man in the world. There was nobody that could help me, and this hurt more than not understanding why Jerry chose to act as if nothing happened last night. I walked out of that airport, never to come back. 3 days later, I received a letter in the mail giving me a formal, "You have been terminated" notice, followed by a call from the police department saying that no charges will be filed as the woman is nowhere to be found. I moved to New York to live with your aunt after that. I never did see that woman again, and to be honest, to this day, I'm not sure what I dealt with. If I'd put my hand on the Bible, I'd say it wasn't a human who stalked me those nights in Iowa. There's a little bit more of the story. So the alligator line, I was going to say could have some grace because that almost sounds like something like someone would tell a kid or a thing like that. So with what I talked about with the skinwalker, how it would have to be something from my past, I was thinking maybe "see you later, alligator" was something from his past. Maybe something his mom used to say to him or something like that, and that could explain it. But we haven't got an explanation for that. But that's why that was fine to me because that's what I thought of.
Sure.
That's probably something from his history.
Right.
Yep. At that point, my aunt walked into the room.
Is he talking about that woman in the Atlantic again?
She said, trying to look irritated.
I was just telling the boy about what happened to me. Worth knowing what's out there.
Oh, stop it, Alex. Poor guy doesn't need to listen to your rambling.
Rambling? Rambling, bitch! You did say that. Rambling? Rambling? How about that since I left, that damn airport has had 41 air traffic controllers quit. How about that?
Well, I think it's time to go. We overstayed as it is.
My aunt said, trying to get out of the awkward situation.
I'll walk you out.
I'll walk you out.
When we got outside the house, my uncle sat in the car, but I had to ask my aunt.
Was that all?
I started, but she interrupted.
Oh, goodness, no. We don't like to talk about it, but Yoko started his depression medication around that time, and it affected him in a strange way. It was back when medications weren't well researched. That's why he was let go and unable to work at airports again.
And the woman?
Yes, there was a girl there. Luckily, the cops got him off before he did any damage, but he's been under control ever since. No incidents. Knock on wood.
As she opened the car door, I whispered one last thing.
And all those controls you quit? Is that true?
Man's smile went from genuine one to one that was very obviously forced.
We better get on the road before night falls, honey. Call us sometime. You got our number. You know. See you later, alligator.
So is the implication there then that she became his wife? Like it killed his wife and then became...
I think that's what it's assuming.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We're in an unreliable narrator situation now.
Yeah. Well,
he could have
said the Skinwalker.
No, well, yes.
Yeah.
But also the...
Because all the stuff that discredits his story came from her at the end.
Well,
Like,
also
he was
it's
on
a thing,
medication
too,
and
about
stuff.
being... I mean, we're also hearing from him, though, being like, well, I don't know why he didn't say... I don't know why he didn't defend me that night.
It could also be that he was on the medication, started to see things, lose his mind, got fired, and then maybe his wife says, "See you later, alligator," so he imprinted that on the story.
Yeah.
But if you view everything literally, his wife was killed by the Skinwalker at some point and replaced, right? Probably similar to what happened.
That's a creative reach. I don't know. There's nothing to assume that the Skinwalker killed his wife. Or whatever.
She said, "See you later, alligator," implying "I'll see you later," and now the wife's saying it. So
no, I understand, but I'm just saying that, like, there's. I mean, I guess we assume that the creature found him in New York and killed the wife because that's where the aunt was at.
I think it's implying it followed him, and like at some point replaced her, something like that.
Nice.
Because I think that's the same thing that happened with Jerry. Because Jerry gets freaked out, runs into the cornfield. And then the next day, Jerry's there, like,
Yeah,
"What are you
I don't know
talking
what
about?"
happened.
You're just, yeah.
So you think the Skinwalker was probably just the?
It's like one or several replacing people.
I see.
Like that, yeah.
Well, there's one thing to take away from all of this. It's fuck cancer.
Yes, yeah. This is a very fun story. It's a very talented story. It's a shame that the author was taken too soon. But I am glad that stories like this from them we can still read, we can enjoy, we can talk about. Because this was a legitimately creepy story with her staring and running to the tower and stuff. All that was great. This was very well done. And it's a tragedy that he's taken too soon. But I'm glad we still get to enjoy what he wrote.
Fuck cancer. Fuck cancer. And guys, thank you so much if you've been listening on audio platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We appreciate a nice rating there. And also thank you to our patrons who do support this channel. We do appreciate you. Once again, I just want to say fuck cancer. That's my final thought.
I also don't like cancer, for the record. I just want to come out that I'm staunchly anti-cancer.
Until
Just
next
make
time,
that clear.
guys, we will see you in the next one. Stay creeped. Goodbye.
Stay creeped. And again, cancer, I don't like it. Just so we all know.
Fuck cancer! Fuck cancer!
And I also feel similarly.